Monday, April 6th, and we have, again, Mr. Chris Steinecker for the Chamber's insights into the economic impact of coronavirus. That's an interesting background you're working with today.
Yeah, I'm taking it serious, Joe. I want everybody to know how important it is. We're going to be talking about it in our show today, that it's about staying at home right now. And we can put in a fake background and be at the beach or downtown. But today, my point is, I know we're trying to do work and you're working and I'm working, but the more we can keep St. Pete safe and at home, the quicker we can get through this and the faster we can get connected again. So yeah, I'm showing people. I'm in my sunroom today. You'll probably see my rest of my roommates coming through. My two boys are in college and they're here as well. So we'll see if we have new guests as well today.
Yeah, and this is, it's important to note that this is not a political thing. This is not the sheriff is out there to enforce what what the mandates are that come down from the government. But this is the leading medical and scientific and epidemiologists, pardon the pronunciation. These are what they're coming out and saying is going to save countless thousands of lives. And so, you can't see it, you can't feel it. You can have it for 2 weeks and not know. And that needs to be taken seriously. And we just you got to stay home for a while until we get this thing, get the chokehold on this thing.
Yep. And so, I think that's the case. I think everybody's learned that now. I think everybody's designing their own mask if they can't find one. That helps if you're got to make a Publix run. But I think our message today is how efficient can we work from home? And I got to tell you, we are all trying to do our best. And today on our show today, Joe, we have the mayor who's coming back in to talk about fighting chance and how our city is getting through this. So let's get him in here. I know he's busy, but let's talk about how St. Pete gets through this week. All right.
Mayor Chrisman, welcome.
Hey, guys.
Welcome, Mayor. Joe and I were just chatting. He notices I'm recording here from my home. I can tell you're recording from your home. The message to St. Pete right now is, hey, be as efficient as you can as long as it's from home, right? And so how are you guys doing?
Well, thank you for asking. And you're absolutely right, Chris. I think that for all of us, if we have the ability to work from home, that's what we ought to be doing. There's a reason that the county and the city and others are calling it safer at home, and it's because that's what we are. We are safer at home. It's what the medical experts all are telling us is the less you have to go out, the more you're able to stay at home, the safer you will be, the safer your family will be, and the safer your community will be. And so, we're doing like everyone else. We're staying home. And we're looking for things that we can do at home. I think, maybe if we look for a silver lining, which we always try and do in these times, is it allows us as a family to get closer, to start maybe playing board games and doing things that we hadn't been doing for a long time. And that's maybe not such a bad thing.
Now, is your daughter back from Gainesville already, or?
She is, and she's finishing up her semester online. Unfortunately, like so many other students, she graduates in May, at the beginning of May, and she won't be able to do, the walk.
Wow.
But we're really proud of her and what she's been able to accomplish. She's finishing up her thesis right now, and of course, my son is doing like so many other Pinellas County school students are doing is the online classes, which has been a big adjustment for all of them.
Great. So you can actually tutor him. So I'm sure he's impressed with your math skills still, too.
Maybe 20, 30 years ago. Not so much today.
Okay. Well, listen, Mayor, thank you for that. And because I know it's hard. I think we've talked a little bit about just adjusting from working from home, but there are some bright spots. And it's kind of nice to be home with your family and playing those board games too. So we'll take a little bright spot. But how do you think the city's faring? Let's get into the city. What's your assessment of where we're at?
There's positives and negatives. I mean, the positives are that for the most part, people are following the guidelines. Unfortunately, the area where we still have a lot of work to do is in our parks. I drove around this weekend, and the idea of keeping the parks open, both for us in St. Pete, for the county, and I think for the state, was we wanted people to stay healthy. We wanted them to recreate and by recreate we mean run, bicycle, jog, walk briskly. But that doesn't mean hanging your hammock up or, going out and popping some lawn chairs up and just sitting out there and reading. If you want to do that stuff, do it at home. And so, I think we've got some work to do there, and we're going to have to do a better job of educating people that that's not what you're supposed to be doing. That's not what the governor's order requires, and that's not what we want you to do here. So, for all those that are following the rules, that's the positive. The downside is we've got a lot of businesses struggling. And I've tried every time I do takeout, I try and post it because I want others to see that this is what I'm doing to try and help our local businesses. It's something that you can do. Some businesses that have had to close their doors under the rules still have an online presence. And so even if you are not going in physically into somebody's business, you can still spend your money supporting our local businesses here in St. Pete. So we want to encourage you to do that because, they're struggling. And, when we get on the other side of this thing, it's really important that we're able to have as many of our businesses still able to reopen and not have lost them.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about that. And thank you for that. So I guess to wrap up the last part, though, the message to anyone who's watching or listening is, listen, we love that you're getting out and getting your exercise, but this is not a social exercise as well.
Right.
This is not a time to meet your friends in the park. It's not a time to have a picnic in the park. It really is not. Hunker down with your family. If your family is going for a walk or a brisk run, do that and then head back home. That's what the mayor has asked for. And we'd hate to see further restrictions if we don't follow those rules. And then you talked about just how we can support each other. Mayor, we've had a couple of weeks now just hearing all the businesses, all the ways they're supporting each other. But now you and I realize St. Pete is hurting. A lot of our businesses are closed. A majority of them have been adversely impacted. There's no doubt about it. So you and your team have created something called Fighting Chance, which is a way for our businesses to get back online. So let's talk a little bit about your vision for Fighting Chance first, and then we'll get into how people get involved in it. But just describe to me what you were hoping to accomplish with Fighting Chance.
Yeah, as we, as this thing came on us a couple of weeks ago, we started thinking about how, much our small businesses, our independently owned local businesses of all kinds, are really the backbone of the city. They're the ones that give the city its identity, its feel, its culture. And we really were worried as we knew this was going to progress to the point where a lot of businesses were going to either have to close or, their ability to do business was going to be significantly curtailed, that they weren't going to be able to survive. And so we started thinking about how can we as a city help them because we had no idea whether the federal government was going to step in, the state government was going to step in. Historically, we haven't really been able to rely a whole lot on the federal and the state government. We've had to do things on our own. And so we started thinking about, is there a way of providing some relief to these businesses and the people who work for these businesses? And if so, how do we do it? How do we make it work? And how do we pay for it? Fortunately, we've been able to recover some of the FEMA funding from Hurricane Irma that we've gotten back. Those dollars would have generally or normally gone into our general fund, and we would have used those to pay for anything that came up during the year that wasn't budgeted that we needed to take care of. But we felt it was more important to help our business community. And so we identified about $6.8 million.
Wow.
And said, all right, how do we want to do this? Originally, we thought about doing a first phase and a second phase where we would help the businesses with $5,000 each phase and individuals with $500 each phase. But as we started looking at how many businesses there were that we thought were going to be hurting, how many individuals, and what resources we had to get the biggest bang for our money and help the most people at one time, we decided to do right now to fund out of these dollars what we call phase one. And with that phase, we think we're going to be able to help somewhere between 800 and 900 businesses and somewhere around 3,000 employees of those businesses. For the businesses, $5,000, for the individuals, $500. And then we want to challenge the business community and anyone else who's looking for an opportunity right now to help, who is saying, I want to do something, I don't know what to do, And so you can help contribute to this fund so that if we need a phase 2, we have dollars available for it. If you go to the city's website, stpete.org/fighting chance fund, you will find all the information about who's eligible, both from a business standpoint, from an individual standpoint. There's frequently asked questions. On the 9th of this month, the applications will go live where you can apply, and it will be first come, first served. But there's also, it'll tell you how you can contribute to the fund if you're interested in helping us.
My understanding, and Joe and I have reviewed with a lot of different folks throughout the last 2 weeks, there are different pockets of resources.
Yes.
Our federal government, our SBA, our state government are putting those together. And we've had some pretty good, wonderful webinars about how to do that. Obviously, everybody is just concerned of, listen, governments weren't created just to get this money out onto the streets very quickly. So the farther away that source is, probably the longer it's going to get here. And that's just the pure logistics of that many people needing help. So this is a fund that's designed probably to be a little more nimble and a little quicker. I know that applications go in on the 9th. How quick do you think it really will be before some of our business will see the resources?
We're really hoping to process those applications as quickly as we can and turn around and get the money out within a week.
Wow.
That is our goal. And so, right now we've got a number of employees, and what we've done as a city, we're trying to live what we're asking everybody else to do. And so all emergency non-essential or non-emergency essential employees have been placed on leave. That we've sent them on home. Other than if there's opportunities for us to utilize them to help out on special projects. To us, this is one of those projects. So we're going to bring some folks in who might have been had no telecommuting they could do, and their job at work wasn't essential. And so they've been at home being on paid leave. We're going to bring them in to help us process these applications as quick as possible, because we're expecting individual-wise, like I said, to get probably 3,000 to 4,000 applications. And on a business standpoint, we could get as many as 1,000 to 1,500 applications, and then we just have to go through them and make sure they meet the criteria, and then that they've filled out the application completely. And that's also the reason why we put it out. We announced it and made the website live on Friday, but are going live with the applications this week because we want to give everybody an opportunity. Look at the site, see what you need to provide us. Because when you send in your application, we don't want to bounce it back because there was something missing.
Yep. Yeah, we've talked about that. So now more than ever, to know your business and know your numbers and to be very accurate and complete in any application you put out. Because if one of your staff is having to track things down, it's going to slow them down. And what we're trying to do is make it so that our businesses get those resources as quick as possible. So it sounds like there's an opportunity now. They've still got some time to learn about it, and then get ready to hit send on the 9th, right? I mean, that's how nimble everybody has to be.
Absolutely, and this is really that opportunity. Remember, if your application gets bounced, given that we've got a limited amount of funds, it could mean the difference between you getting funding and not getting funding.
Right.
And so that's really important that you have all your ducks lined up so that when that thing goes live, you're ready. Because we want you to get the money. We want you around. You're too important to our community. All of our businesses are too important. We don't want to lose.
Well, Mayor, first of all, thank you for stepping up and taking those resources and caring about our businesses. You and I, on a normal week like this, would have done 4 or 5 ribbon cuttings, but this is the way to do it. But it sounds like, just as in our ribbon cuttings, it's not just you all putting resources in. There's an opportunity for us as a business community and others to match you, to get more resources in there, because as you mentioned, it's not probably going to be enough. We've got over 10,000 businesses in St. Petersburg. So this is just wave 1 of what the resources can be. So what I would ask all of our businesses who've been watching, who are trying to figure out what to do, and all those people, is the mayor has allowed us to put money into the Fighting Chance Fund for others as well. So if you are so inclined, there is actually some information on their website for that as well. we're going to be asking our businesses, our banks, and others to put some money in there to make sure it happens. But I'd ask others, Joe, if we can get that out on the Catalyst as well, just make sure others understand this is the time when we can all come together. And we know we've got our city kind of funneling it to those businesses who really do, and the people who really need the help.
Yeah, I've got to say, my staff, I'm incredibly proud of my entire team. These folks have just been working through weekends and nights and all trying to make sure we could get this program up and running as quickly as possible. All with the same goal of trying to help our business community and the people who work at those businesses who are also hurting, some of whom lost their jobs, a lot of whom lost their jobs, and others who maybe still have their job, but they're seeing, their paycheck cut in half. And, it's what I love about this city, and what I love about the people who work for the city is how much they care about this community, and everybody's stepping up as one community to make, this is what's great about St. Pete.
So if you really do care about St. Pete, then in this last 10 minutes, Mayor, we've kind of laid out the plan. If you really, for all those people who say, I love St. Pete, whether they start or in their conversation, we've given them things to do. The first is follow the rules, stay at home, work as hard as you can from home, care as much as you can about the people that are in your lives and those in this community. And we're giving you those kind of options. But don't put your hammock up on Crescent Lake, go home, stay away so that we can get healthy, because the quicker we can get healthier,
that's right,
the less chances we need for more funding of fun like this. And then the second part is, if your business or you've been laid off, now our city is wrapping its arms around you and trying to get others to do the same. And you're not alone. So there are going to be resources available to you. So pay attention to that as well.
Absolutely. Well said. I mean, that's what it's all about right now. We have an opportunity as a city to step up for each other, to support each other. I'm seeing, and we're going to start trying to post more about this, incredible acts of kindness that are being performed by individuals and businesses throughout the city. It really, if you were feeling down about what's going on, just look at what some of our fellow residents and business owners are doing to support each other. And if that doesn't lift you up, I don't know what will. Because it's really amazing when you see some of the things that people in this community are doing to help each other.
Yeah. Mayor, you and I we get to see the best of our community from these stories, and I'd love it if we start sharing more of them as well, because I think that is the kind of fuel that'll keep us getting through this. So let's make sure we focus on those things that are good.
Absolutely. That's what we've got to do. If we're all working together, we're all in this together, we'll get through this together. We'll come out on the other side stronger than we've ever been.
Great. So give me one more. Where do people find out about Fighting Chance?
stpete.org/Fighting Chance Fund.
Perfect. Great.
Please go check it out.
Well, Mayor, thank you for joining us. I know you're very busy on days like this. If there's anything else we can do for you, please let us know. But we sincerely need good leaders right now. You've proven yourself. So thank you for standing there and helping our community get through this. There will be brighter days ahead.
Absolutely. And thank you, Chris and Joe, for spreading the word. Keep spreading the word. Keep doing what you're doing. As I said, there are brighter days, and we know the sun is going to continue to shine brightly on us here in St. Pete.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.